this far by faith, lean on the Lord, trust in His every word. He never failed me yet. Whoa, can't turn around. We come this far by faith. Just the other day, I heard a man say that he didn't believe the words that Allah said. But I can truly say, true Allah has made a way, and He's never failed me yet. Praise Allah, He sent Prophet Noble Drew Ali to make me free. He did everything for lonely me. Whoa, can't turn around. We come this far by faith. Just the other day, I heard a man say that he didn't believe the words that Allah said. But I can truly say, true Allah has made a way, and He's never failed me yet. Praise Allah, He sent Prophet Noble Drew Ali to make me free. He did everything for lonely me. Whoa, can't turn around. We come this far by faith.
Islam, Brother Mufti. I'm about to open this meeting according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Islam, Brother Chairman, the temple is now secure without any disruption.
Islam. Will all in attendance please rise and face the east for the Moorish American prayer? Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My God.
My God.
And my salvation.
My salvation.
By night. And by day. Through His holy prophet. Drew Ali. Amen. Islam. You may be seated. Ever so modestly and humbly do I ascend in thought to give praise to the author, the creator, the governor of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah be His holy Muslim name. I extend my highest honors to the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to the forerunner of the Prophet, Brother Marcus Mazzell Garvey. I give honors to our past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I give honors to our former Grand Sheikh and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Brother R. Loveville. I give honors to our present Grand Sheikh and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bay. And I give honors to his official staff for the work they are doing to uplift fallen humanity. I give honors to both flags, national and international. I give honors to our charter, Subordinate Temple number 8. That charter gives us, the Moorish Americans, the legal and divine right to extend the learning of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali unmolested on these rocky shores of North America. I give honors to all literature and functions of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I give honors to the Young People Moorish National League, honors to the Sisters Auxiliary, and honors to the Mufti staff. And finally, I give honors to you, for when man honors man, he honors his Father God Allah. I'd like to take a reading now from the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Salvation, our God, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. But that cause Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must observe these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must properly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all of the tenets of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband, take care of your children, and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from your holy prophet, Noble Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah, Noble Ali founder. The Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 1000 North Point Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60622. The great meeting is on, questionary and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the prophet, Noble Ali. Act 1. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses, each said temple must be approved by the prophet, Noble Ali. Before acting upon by any members, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice, finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the grand sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their adapt meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on the meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is the enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must conform himself to the questionnaire. And let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school come the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now. And all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meeting and become a part and impartial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband, take care of your children, and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from your holy prophet, Noble Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. I'd like to take a reading now from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble prophet, Drew Ali, by the guiding of his Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God, Allah. And I'd like to take a reading from page 34, chapter 22, duty of a husband. These are the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. And I'm going to read instructions 1 through 3. Take unto thyself a wife and obey the ordinance of Allah. Take unto thyself a wife and become a faithful member of society. But examine with care and fix not suddenly. On thy present choice dependeth thy future happiness. If much of her time is destroyed in dress and adornment, if she is enamored with her own beauty and delighteth with her own praise, if she laugheth much and talketh loud, if her foot abideth not in her father's house, and her eyes with boldness rove on the face of men, though her beauty were as the sun in the firmament of heaven, turn thy face from her charms, turn thy feet from her path, and suffer not thy soul to be ensnared by the allurements of imagination. Let me go on to 4. But when thou findest sensibility of heart, joined with softness of manner and accomplished mind, with a form agreeable to thy fancy, take her home to thy house. She is worthy to be thy friend, thy companion in life, the wife of thy bosom. Islam. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Know yourself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship under his own binding fig tree, the uniting of Asia. Islam. Peace, Muftis. Members and guests may enter the temple at this time. I'd like to greet the Moors on this holy day for all Muslims all over the world with Islam. May the peace and blessings of Allah be with us all. I read that because soon I will be a husband. I will be taking unto myself a wife. And I followed these instructions to the fullest of my ability. And I'm thankful that I have them to follow. Because before I met the prophet in the Moorish Science Temple of America, it mattered what she looked like. It mattered what she had. It mattered what she could give me. Now, all of these matters you can put in your hand. But I found something different. I found what the prophet brought is true love. True. And what I mean by true is that, first of all, I trust. I trust. See, you can't be together if you don't trust one another.
That's right. Definitely.
And I'm so thankful to be in those shoes, to have someone I can trust. It means a lot. So with that, I'm going to say peace. May the peace and blessings of Allah be with us all. And I want to give honors to all those who are called to speak tonight to bring this gospel of Islam. At this time, I'd like to call on the first speaker of the evening. I'd like to call on my brother C. Nixon Bay. I pray you give him your undivided attention, Islam.
Wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Right in trouble, the water. Well, who's those yonder all dressed in red? Right in trouble, the water. Well, it must be the Muslims that you all led. Right in trouble, the water. Hey now, wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Right in trouble, the water. Oh, who's that yonder all dressed in green? Right in trouble, the water. Well, it must be the Muslims that you already redeemed. Right in trouble, the water. Hey now, wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Right in trouble, the water. Oh, who's that yonder all dressed in white? Right in trouble, the water. Well, it must be the host of the Israelites. Right in trouble, the water. Hey now, wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Wade, oh, wade in the water, Muslims. Right in trouble, the water. Right in trouble, the water.
Islam,
Islam.
arise on this holy day. Give praise to Allah, the Father of the universe. Give high honors to the Prophet, noble Jew Ali. Give honors to the harbingers Martin Zellgarden, who said any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Give honors to the past Grand Supreme Advisor and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple, starting with Brother C. Kirby Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, Brother J. Blakely Bay. Give honors to a former Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother R. Avil. Give honors for our present Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bay. Give honors to the charter. Give honors to both flags, international and national. Give honors to everything that the chairman gave honors to in the opening of the meeting. Tonight, I'm going to take a reading from page 36, chapter 26, Holy Instructions of Unity. The gifts of the understanding are the treasures of Allah. He appointed to everyone his portion. and what measure seemeth good unto himself. Hath he endowed thee with wisdom? Hath he enlightened thy mind with the knowledge of truth? Communicated to the ignorant for their instruction, communicated to the wise for thy own improvement. True wisdom is less presuming than folly. The wise man doubteth often and changes his mind. The fool is obstinate and doubteth not. He knoweth all things but his own ignorance. The pride of emptiness is an abomination, and to talk much is the foolishness of folly. Nevertheless, it is a part of wisdom to hear with patience their impertinence and to pity their absurdity. Yet not, yet be not puffed up in thine own conceit, neither boast of superior understanding. The clearest human knowledge is but blindness and folly. The wise man feeleth his imperfections and is humble. He laboreth in vain for his own approbation, but the fool peepeth in the shallow stream of his own mind and is pleased with the pebbles which he seeth at the bottom. He bringeth them up and showeth them as pearls, and with the applause of his brethren delighteth himself. He boasteth of attainments and things that are of no worth, but where it is a shame to be ignorant, there he hath no understanding. Even in the path of wisdom, he toileth after folly, and shame and disappointment are the reward of his labor. But the wise man cultivates his mind with knowledge. The improvement of the arts is his delight, and their utility to the public crowneth with honor. Nevertheless, the attainment of virtue he accounteth as the highest learning, and the science of happiness is the study of his life. Now, the dictionary says unity is a state of being undivided, joined as a whole or in full agreement, as oneness. Now, anybody that was born before the 60s or after 60s know that we as a people were united. Whether, okay, they call us blacks, Negroes, colored, whatever, we were united as a people. Our leaders, we had leaders that preach peace and love. We had leaders that preach violence. That they said this is the only way for us to be free. They marched, they got their civil rights. We had our own communities, our own stores, our own everything. We took care of one another. Then they got the civil rights passed. They wanted to end segregation. Integration was the worst thing that ever happened to us. I don't care what nobody says, it was. Because when we got integrated, our people went off into every direction there is to go. They forgot who they were. They forgot where they came from. The prophet came along. He united the people. This organization is about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You can only find it here. You can't find it out there in Asia. We as an organization are united. There may be some that's out there that want to do their own thing, but hey, that happens in every place you go. Our people are starting to wake up. Slowly but surely, they're waking up. We are the leaders of today. The Moors are the leaders of today. We have to lead our people. So you have to know who you are, what you are, and know Allah. So when they come through the doors, you can instruct them in the right way to go. Because when they wake up, they have to stay awake.
That's right.
When they go back out to go to sleep, where will they go? Nowhere. They'll be out there lost again, like they are now. So stay on the path. We as people, we as Moors, need to stay on the path. Use instructions to guide your life. You're gonna have your troubles. You're gonna have your stumbling. You're gonna have your foes. Conquer those. And everything will be all right. Peace.
That's right. Wade in the water, Muslims. Wade away in the water, Muslims. Wade away in the water, Muslims. Ollie done trouble the water. Drew Ollie done trouble the water.
Islam. I want to give honor to Brother C. Nixon Bay for those words of wisdom. Now, I would like to call on our secretary, my Sister M. Taylor Bay, and I pray you give her your undivided attention, Islam.
I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. Islam is my religion. I shall not be moved. Islam is my religion. I shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. Ali is my prophet, and I shall not be moved. Ali is my prophet, I shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. I've got my nationality, and I shall not be moved. I've got my nationality, and I shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. I'll continue to trust in Allah. I shall not be moved. I'll continue to trust in Allah. I shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. I'm on my way to Mecca, and I shall not be moved. I'm on my way to Mecca. I shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. Islam.
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 First, I rise giving all praises to Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I give high honors to his prophet, Noble to Ali. I give honors to the forerunner of the prophet, Marcus Messiah Garvey, who came boldly declaring one God, one aim, and one destiny. Islam. I give honors to all past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators of the Lord Science Temple of America. And I give honors to our past Grand Sheik and moderator of the Lord Science Temple of America, Brother Arla Beal. I give honors to our present Grand Sheik and moderator of the Lord Science Temple of America, Brother R. Jones Bay, and to his official staff. I give honors to the governors of each state, and I give special Islam, and I give special honors to the Grand Governor of the state of Kansas, our governor, Brother S. Winky Bay, and to his official staff. And I give honors to all who are here this evening, this afternoon. And I give honors to those who are here in spirit. And I give all other honors that was given before me by the chairman and the person who spoke before me. Islam,
Islam.
the brother who spoke before me.
Islam.
I'm nervous. I'm going to take a reading from the Holy Quran, the Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 27, page 36, the holy unity of the rich and the poor. The man to whom Allah hath given riches and blessed with a mind to employ them aright is peculiarly favored and highly distinguished. There's a saying, old saying, that the boomerang effect always returns to the sender. He looketh on his wealth with pleasure, because it affordeth him the means to do good. He protecteth the poor that are injured. He suffereth not the might to oppress the weak. He seeketh out objects of compassion. He inquireth into their wants. He relieveth them with judgments and without obstination. He assisted and rewarded merit. He encouraged ingenuity and liberally promoted every useful design. He carrieth his own great works. His country is enriched, and the labor is employed. He formeth new schemes, and the arts receive improvement. He considers the superfluities of his table. Superfluities, he considers overabundance of his table as belonging to the poor of his neighborhood, and he defraudeth them not. The benevolence of his mind is not checked by his fortune. He rejoiceth, therefore, in riches, and his joy is blameless. But woe unto him that heapeth up wealth in abundance, and rejoiceth alone in the possession thereof, that grindeth the face of the poor, and considereth not the sweat of their brows. He driveth on oppression without feeling. The ruin of his brother disturbeth him not. The tears of the orphan he drinketh as milk. The cries of the widow are music to his ears. Shame, shame. His heart hardened with the love of wealth. No grief or distress can make impression upon it. But the curse of iniquity pursueth him. He liveth in continual fear. The anxiety of his mind and the desires, rapacious desires, greediness, desires of his own soul take vengeance upon him for the calamities he has brought upon others. Oh, what are the miseries of poverty in comparison with the gnawings of this man's heart? Gnawing, persistent, he's persistent in nagging pain and nagging pain because of what he's doing. And his integrity is very unfair behavior. Let the poor man comfort himself. Yes, rejoice, for he hath many reasons. He sitteth down to his morsel in peace. His table is not crowded with flatterers and devourers. He is not embarrassed with a train of dependents, nor teased with the clamors of solicitations. Debarred from the dainties of the rich, he escapeth also their diseases. The bread that he eateth is not so sweet to his taste. The water he drinketh is not so pleasant to his thirst. Yea, far more delicious water than the richest draughts of the luxurious. His labor preserveth his health, and procureth him a repose to which the downy bed of sloth is a stranger. He limiteth his desires with humility, and the calm of contentment is sweeter to his soul than all the acquirements of wealth and grandeur. Let not the rich therefore presume on his riches, nor the poor in his poverty yield to despondence. For the providence of Allah dispenses happiness to them all. He has no favorites. I found this saying of a Zimbabwean proverb. A cheater enjoys, you know, the cheater, if I'm saying it right, a cheater enjoys when it's dragging another. When its turn comes to be dragged, it complains that its spots are full of dirt. And that's why I read the chapter.
Islam. Islam.
Islam. I give honors to our sister until the bed secretary here. Let's not end up like that cheater and be dirty. Huh? Huh? Let's not be dirty. All right, at this time, I'd like to call on the final speaker of the evening. I'd like to call on our grand sheik, my brother, Brother S. McGee Bay. I pray you give him your undivided attention, Islam. Islam.
I can't thank him enough. I can't serve him enough. I can't lift him too high for men to see. You don't know how good Allah has been to me. He didn't have to wake me this morning, but he did. Oh, yes, he did. He didn't have to give me the love, but he did. Oh, yes, he did. I can't thank him enough. I can't serve him enough. I can't lift him too high for men to see. You don't know how good Allah has been to me. Islam. Islam. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to be able to rise on this marvelous crest of time to give praise to the great universal creator who is almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. I give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, who in 1913 AD broke the Roman seal with the establishment of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated for the teaching and instructing of all Moorish Americans, etc. I give honor to Brother Marcus Mazel Garvey for paving the way for our illustrious prophet, who said that no one is educated who does not know the history of his own race. I give honor to the past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators of the Moorish Science Temple of America, starting with Brother C. Kirkman Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, and Brother J. Blakely Bay. I give honor to our former Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother Allah Veal. I give honor to our present Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bay. I give honor to his assistant, Brother A. Hopkins Bay. I give honor to all those who I did not name who are aiding in this our gigantic mission of uplifting fallen humanity. I give honor to both flags, national and international. I give honor to our charter. That charter gives us, the Moorish Americans, the legal and divine right to practice our religion without being molested by anyone in the organization, group, or citizen, I might add. I give honor to the speakers that spoke before me, and I give honor to all who are working to uplift fallen humanity. Islam. Islam. You know, I'm extremely grateful to Allah for sending Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because I was sick and I needed a doctor. Islam. The first thing that I learned coming to the Moore Science Temple of America that the prophet Noble Drew Ali said, if I can get you to start thinking for yourself, you will save yourself. Islam. And so I began the process of learning to think for myself rather than going off what people have been telling me all my life. Islam. And so as I continued on this journey, I understand that everything that happens in our lives is based on the way that we think. If you are not content, if you are not happy in your present condition, remember that that's a direct result of the way that you think, because thought is the cause of everything. So as you think, you become, right? So be careful what you're thinking, because you can easily become a product of your thinking. So be careful what you're thinking. And one of the things that I love about the Moore Science Temple of America, it has helped me to come to grips that I'm not who I think I am, Islam. I thought I was Negro, black, and colored until I came into the consciousness of this holy breath, Islam, right? And I started learning to think for myself. And I started, the first thing the prophet Noble Drew Ali told me is that you are not Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian. That was something new. That actually, that's considered something strange when people hear that, right? It's like you listen to somebody speaking Spanish and you don't know a word of what they're saying, right? When the Moor told me that, I said, man, that dude ain't no prophet. You guys are crazy. And then I said, like I often heard a lot of others say, before I became aware of what I was saying, I would say, nigga, I'm black. Right? So again, I thank Prophet Noble Drew Ali for letting me know that these names were given to slaves by slaveholders, right? And if you continue the process of using the name, then you're saying that you are a slave. And so when you begin to be treated like that, don't get upset about it. This is what you're proclaiming that you are, right? And so you made that proclamation to say that I'm Negro, black, and colored, African American, etc. You made that proclamation. So based on that proclamation, this is where our abuses come from. Because the way we see ourselves is the way that we think. Right? Because our conditions are no more than a reflection of what we think. Islam? And so I want to read something, because when I start having issues, one is I have a favorite chapter that I always go to. And I'm learning more and more about this chapter, chapter 5, right? I'm learning more and more about this chapter as I continue to study, because you look at a chapter and you read a chapter and become one of your favorite chapters. As you continue to read, you gain more and more insight the more you study. So I have a revelation, Islam, if you will. And so I want to share that, because it's important that those of us that know, we must teach. Right? But you can't teach something that you don't know. So I've learned this, Islam, and it took me a lot of years to get to the point where I understand some things in this chapter, right? And I'm honored to be able to share that information, Islam, because it's important that we share the things that we know in order to help uplift someone else, help uplift them from out of the condition that they're in, right? Because that's our responsibility. And I think we typically take that for granted, Islam. And so I want to read this, because it's important that we understand. Now, Jesus is going to teach us something about ourselves that we don't know, or that we had no knowledge of, right? Page 10, chapter 5. After the feast of homeward journey, the missing Jesus, the search for him. His parents found him in the temple. He goes with them to Nazareth, symbolic meaning of carpenter's tool. It says that the great feast of the Pasch was ended, and the Nazarenes were journeying toward their home. Now, the great feast of the Pasch is what? It's a celebration. So like a Passover celebration that they celebrate, and this was in India, Islam. And they were in Samaria. That's in India. And Mary said, "Where's my son? No one has seen the boy." And Jesus sought among their kindred who were on their way to Galilee, but they had seen him not. Then Joseph, Mary, and son of Zebedee returned and sought through all Jerusalem but could find him not. And Mary asked the guard, had they seen Jesus, a little boy about 12 years old. The guards replied, he is in the temple now disputing with the doctors of the law. And they went in and found him as the guard had said. And Mary said, why, Jesus, why do you treat your parents thus? Lo, we have sought 2 days for you. We feared that some great harm had overtaken you. Now, when I start to look at this, these lessons, right, these instructions, I start to understand that, remember now, Mary and Elizabeth in an earlier chapter were marveling much because of their deliverance, right? They went to the sacred grove where they were wanting to teach. So why did they go there? They went there to get these divine instructions so they could do what? Impart these divine instructions to John and Jesus, right? And so again, so when you look at the story, it lets us know that there was no accident, right? Ain't no accident because there are no happenings, right? Law governs all of it that Jesus was where the very place that Mary taught him to be. So ain't no accident that she found him in the temple disputing with the doctors of the law, because that's what she taught him, right? So there was no accident, right? And I want to continue on because there's a lot of things in here that we take for granted. This is why we have to continue to study, because there's more and more that's going to be revealed. Islam? Okay, and it says, and Jesus said, do you not know that I must be about my Father's work? What was he referring to? What work was he talking about? See, we think that our responsibility on this physical plane is to just do our own thing. You know how we like to do our own thing, right? Then you have to ask yourself, who made you? So if Allah made you, who work you should be doing? You should be doing Allah's work, right? Because you're going to get paid for the work that you do, aren't you? You want Allah to protect you and guide you, right? But you don't want to do his work. You want to do your own work. But you want the benefits, right, from Allah, but you don't want to do his work. You want to do your own thing. Okay, praise Allah. But again, these are the things that we take for granted. And Jesus is teaching us what? That we must do what? Be about our Father's work, right? And then listen what he did, because this was a revelation to me, and I've been studying this chapter for quite some time. And guess what he did? And then let me just go back. It says that he said, but he went round and pressed the hand of every doctor of the law and said, I trust that we meet again. Remember now, he went around and pressed what did he do? He pressed the what? Hand of every doctor of the law. He did not shake nobody's hand. He pressed whom? He pressed the hands of who? The doctors of the law, right? And it's not a responsibility on us, incumbent upon us to do what? Press the hand of every doctor of the law, right? Because when you become a doctor of the law, that means you do what? That means you become one who adheres to the law. You can't be a doctor of some that you don't adhere to, right? And so the prophet Noble Drawley is letting us know that we come into this knowledge of self, we become the doctors, one of the doctors of this law, right? We have to adhere to it, right? And so as we begin to adhere to it, what do? We become what? Doctors of it. But we don't want to do that, right? We want to do our own thing. Islam, right? And then it says, and then he went around and pressed the hand of every doctor of the law. He said, I trust that we meet again. He didn't say bye. No. He said, I trust that we meet again. So when you press the hand of the doctor of the law, right? You only press the hand of the doctor of the law that you do what? That you trust. Remember that now. Those that can be trusted, they are worthy to do what? They're worthy that you can press their hands. Everybody else that can't, that's not trustworthy, what? You shake their hand. Because you know they don't shake the ground. Islam? I know it's a lot more. Islam? One day, no, let me go back. It says, and then he went forth with his parents on their way to Nazareth. And when they reached their home, he wrote with Joseph as a carpenter. Now, listen to what Jesus said. One day as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, now tools are used for what? The production of something, right? He said, these tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build up character. Listen to the language. Where things are made of thought, everything that you see is composed of thought, because it was a thought before it manifested itself. Everything that we see are what? But reflexes, just appearing. Right? And so, again, that lets us know that everything that you do, your thought is what? Is the cause of everything that happens to you in your life. You thought about it. You did not leave home without a thought of coming here. You had that thought. And so man is what? Directed by what? The way that he thinks. Right? So your life is only a reflection of your consciousness. All of your life, all our lives are a reflection, our state of consciousness. So when you see someone doing something, ain't no accident that they doing it. They doing it at their own free will. They thought about doing it. Right? So whatever happened as a result of their thinking is supposed to happen. Why? Because that's the thought you had. Right? And what goes along with that thought? For every action, there's what? A reaction. And so again, not only that, Jesus was working with his father as a carpenter, but he had up on everybody else, right? He had up on everybody else because Jesus was not only building a physical dwelling when he was working with his father, he was building a spiritual dwelling for the sons of men. I can prove it to you. He said these tools are the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind. So he was building a spiritual dwelling while he was doing what? Building a physical dwelling with his father, wrote with Joseph as a carpenter. And he said, we use a square to measure all our lines, to straighten out the crooked places of the way, and make the corners of our conduct square. And a square is what? When you talk about square, you're talking about something that's equal on all sides. So that means your character has to be continuously the same all the time. If you are inconstant, that means that we got a lot of work to do on ourselves. That's what that means, right? And but the square is symbolic, right? This is a symbolic gesture, right? Is that we have to straighten out the crooked places, the crooked thoughts that we have, because that's why we go wrong, by having those wrong thoughts. So it's the thought that lead us away. That's the thought that got our lines crooked. But if we straighten the thought out, what do? We straighten the line out. I know it's a lot, boys. It's a lot. But Prophet Noble Ali came to teach us these things so we can straighten out some of the crooked places of the way in our lives, ourselves. Islam. He said, if I can get you to start thinking, boy, you'll save yourself. Then you won't be sitting around waiting for somebody to do for you what you can do for yourself. He said we use the compass to draw the circle around our passions and desires and keep them in the bounds of righteousness. Now, the whole Quran teaches us to be just, you must hear without your passions, right? So, again, when you start dealing with your passion, we always like the feel, right? I feel like you did me wrong, right? We always feel it. And why do we always feel? Because we have not learned how to think. You may feel someone did you wrong, but did you think about what happened during the situation? Now you're sitting around feeling all in your feelings, right? And the Holy Quran already told us that, right? To be just, you must hear without your passion, right? And you can't, again, when you start dealing with your passions, and I always say this, that thought only produce vision. Emotions cannot produce any vision. You can't see with your emotions. Start getting into your feelings and see how much you can see. You can't see anything. Your emotions cloud your judgment and seeing what reality is. And so we have an issue that we have to do. These are issues that we all have to deal with. It said we use the axe to cut away the naughty, unuseless, ungainly part and make the character symmetrical. Why do we use the axe? Because we want to cut away all that naught. Cut away all them thoughts that you have. Right? When I came to the Moral Science Temple of America and became aware of this state of consciousness, the first thing I stopped doing was I stopped using foul language, because Prophet Noble Ali said, imitate me in words, acts, and deeds. So the first thing I had to let go was the words came out of my mouth. Right? Remember, the words in your mouth are the thoughts of your heart. I know some of y'all don't like it. It's okay. You ain't ready to stop doing that. But you're going to have to if you're going to do this. At some point, you're going to have to stop. All of us. Right? And I'm just glad that, you know, the prophet said what would surprise me is that the more do right. So I set out to surprise the prophet Noble Ali. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Right? So I stopped using language that my prophet Noble Ali is not teaching me to use. And I know y'all don't like it, because you want to keep doing what you're doing and you want to ride on both sides of the fence. You can't do that. You either got to make a decision. Right? Either do this thing right or don't do it at all. The prophet said to take hold and turn loose. Guess what? It would have been better if you never took hold in the first place. So you got to ask yourself, why am I here? I ain't doing what the prophet said do. That means you're here to cause confusion. You ain't here to help uplift nothing if you ain't doing nothing. Remember, Jesus said, I must do what? Be about my Father's work. Now, who work are you performing? You got to ask yourself that. Or you just doing your own thing? My brother told me, he said, "Mo, I just want to do my own thing." I said, "Praise Allah." Until he got in trouble, and he said, "Well, Islam, I need some assistance." I said, "Hold on, wait a minute. You want to do your own thing. Whoever was helping you do your own thing, that's where you need to go. Don't get mad. Hey, it is what it is. You made that decision. Sometimes we have to live with the decisions that we make for ourselves."
That's right.
Islam? He said we use a hammer to drive home the truth and pound it in until it's a part of every part. This is why Prophet Noble Ali specifically said, you must attend your meetings. Why? Because when you walk through that door, what's going to happen? This truth should be pounded in until it becomes a part of every part, because you're not going to get it nowhere else. Nobody else wants you to be free but Prophet Noble Ali. Everybody else wants you to do what? Do what they want you to do. I don't care where you go. Everybody wants to enslave you except Prophet Noble Ali. Prophet Noble Ali is the only one who came to free us from the crumbling shackles of this mortal life. He's the only one who told us the truth. And he said, you don't have to take my word for it. He said, investigate other prophets. He didn't come here to take anything from you. He came to give you some. He said that the great works of Mastermind is to do what? To restore the heritage of man, to bring him back to his estate that he had lost. Right? So we're in a restoration process. Right? We will begin to restore ourselves back to the highest plane of life with our Father God Allah. But we don't want to do it though. And we don't want to do it because we're scared of what others going to think of us, Islam. Right? I used to be like that, right? And as I became more spiritually conscious and more aware that no one cares more about you than you.
Yes,
right? People don't care about what you're doing. You worried about what they think. They could care less about you. The most important thing is what you think of yourself. The prophet said, if I can get you to start thinking, you'll save yourself. You won't be worried about what people think, because it really doesn't matter what they think. Right? They're going to talk about you. They're going to lie on you. Right? They're going to stab you in the back, all that good stuff. Right? The prophet said that he sent out a call for strong men and women right? If you weak, you can't do this. This is not for the weak. This is only for the strong, because there's some things that you're going to have to take. You have to be okay with people talking about you. Oh, if I was a grand sheik, I'll do this. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do anything because you wouldn't be a grand sheik. And the reason why you wouldn't, because you don't want to do what's right. Because if you did, you'd be. What did Jesus tell Barato? If you know, you must be. Why aren't you then, since you want to be? Tell me that. Why aren't you? You're not, because you don't want to do this thing right. You want to do this right? Allah will put you where you need to be to help your brothers and sisters to raise themselves above the infinite illusion of this world. I'm telling you what I know for a fact. And I'm telling you, I'm not no perfect Moorish American, but I'm a faithful member of this Moorish movement, Islam. And I've learned over the years to follow the prophet to a destiny, which is what, brothers M. Bay? Not uncertain, nor unknown. I am fortified by the impregnable doctrine built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Because I practice these divine principles. I didn't say I do everything right, but I practice these principles because I'm faithful. Not only am I faithful, I'm sincere. And in order for you to get this, you must be sincere. The prophet said, don't play with me because I don't play. Y'all stop playing so much. Taking this Moorish movement for a joke. Say no paper pushing movement. This movement is teaching us how to learn to love instead of hate each other. Some of y'all got turbans on feds on still hating each other. Because you don't want to do the right thing. Your brother doing the right thing, you mad at him because you don't want to make a decision to do the right thing. That's on you. You shouldn't be mad. You should be glad. Because men need a pattern for their lives. They love to follow and not to lead. You say, but the man who stands upon what? The corners of the path and points the way and does not go is just a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same. And I know there's more things that you can imitate than a block of wood. It's got to be something else. The prophet told us to what? Be yourselves. He said, study yourself. And when he said study yourself, he gave you yourself in book form so you can read and study about it. So you telling me you don't know? Well, of course you don't know. That's why you can't be. But it says, we use a plane to smooth the rough, uneven surface of joint and block and board that go to build the temple for the truth. The chisel, line, and palmet and the saw, all have their uses in the workshop of the mind. And then this ladder with this trinity of steps, faith, hope, and love, and only we climb up to the dome of purity in life. We talking about climbing what? Spiritually to the dome of purity in life. And on the 12-step ladder, we ascend. Why are we ascending? When we ascend, we do what? We raise. For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded? To uplift means to raise. To raise what? To raise our consciousness to a higher level. Why? Because when you raise your consciousness to a higher level, it raises the substance of the body to a higher tone. Then we are able to move on this plane of existence without resistance. Why do you think Prophet Noble Drew Ali was able to do the things he was able to do? Because his level of consciousness was on the higher self. It was high. That's why I say, you know, boy, you got to take the high road. Islam. We got to learn how to take the high road. But we want to do what everybody else doing because we followers. That's why men need a pattern for their life. They love to follow. Follow somebody else. Right? Somebody go drop off a bridge, you're going to go drop off the bridge with them? It's amazing. But again, it says until we reach the pinnacle, it's the highest point. The pinnacle is the highest point of that which life is spent to build a temple of perfected man. He told us that perfected man in chapter 1 must pass through all the ways of life. And so this carnal was fully manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And thought must be developed by the exercise of the strength in which you possess. You just don't want to use it. It's amazing. Prophet Noble League said, I gave you everything. I brought you everything. And we take that for granted. We want something else. More, you got some other literature. What other literature? You got everything Prophet Noble League gave you, right? He the only one came to tell us the truth about ourselves. Why you want something that somebody else wrote? So they can lead you astray. Think about it, Morris. Again, it's truly an honor to be in the Moorish Science Temple of America, and I'm thankful to Allah for sending Prophet Noble Ali. You know, when I heard those sweet words, you know, when I heard the trumpet sound, I came running, right? And there's nothing or no one can run me out of the Moorish Science Temple of America. People say, oh, you ran somebody. People leave the Moorish Science Temple of America because they want to. They don't want this. They don't want to do this. That's why they leave. When you're strong, you have a strong will. Said that the will of man makes possible the action of the Holy Breath. The will of man and will of Allah one, the resurrection is what? A fact. People leave because they don't want to do this thing. They don't leave because of somebody else. Y'all stop promoting that foolishness, letting people get by. No, you left because you wanted to leave. And you left because you wanted to leave because you didn't want to do what Prophet Noble Ali instructed you to do. We always got an excuse. When Prophet Noble Ali left, he took all the excuses with him. So you have none. Peace.
Islam. I give honors to our Grand Sheikh for that informative measure of understanding of that chapter. Thank you, Moore. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on the Muftis. And now I will call on the Grand Governor of the state of Kansas, my brother S. McGee Bay. I pray you give him your undivided attention. Islam. Islam.
Prophet warns all Muslims governors are to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We offer love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feeling toward the temple of the prophet or violate divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn their cards, buttons, cease wearing their turbans of fairs, and return to the state why the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore sent out divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Noble Ali. Peace.
Peace, Muftis. Islam. I'd like to thank everyone for attending our meeting here at Subordinate Temple number 8. I hope and pray that life treats you well because you make good thoughts. Only good thoughts will bring about a well-treated life. All Moors and people listening this evening, may the blessings of Allah be with us all. Peace.